Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're working on a 15 Pro that needs a new battery. Now the battery health of this phone is at 86%, but the customer was reporting that he wasn't getting enough battery life out of it. This could be caused from overcharging, which he did do. He's plugging his phone in overnight, which is something you should never do, guys. Anyways, to get this repair started, we're going to remove the 2 pencil of screws. One good thing about the battery that I'm putting in today, it's a diagnosable battery, meaning that we can calibrate it after. So once we got those 2 pencil screws removed, we can please place the phone on the heat mat and then start with some isopropyl alcohol around the sides of the phone. I can apply it around the screen, so then I can come in with my blade. And a suction cup. And I can just pry that open and create a nice gap so I can put in my display cutter in between the screen and the housing of the phone. Be careful to take your time. Some people do say you should turn off the phones and so on, but I like to leave it on just so I know where the phone is taking pressure. And if sometimes I'll turn it off as well, it doesn't really matter to me. And once you have that opened up, you can open up like a book from left to the left side. Then there is a series of screws here, about 6 of them that need to be removed so that this bracket here can be removed. Once you got those all removed, you can use a tweezer to remove the bracket itself. And then you want to first disconnect the battery, then you want to disconnect the display connector and then the proximity sensor connector as well. I like to use some stickers to protect the camera from any dust so that, I don't need to clean them after and go through that headache. Highly recommend if you're a shop. And then for me to remove this battery seamlessly, I just add some isopropyl alcohol around the battery adhesive strips so that when I come with my display remover or battery remover tool, I can just pry it open with not too much resistance. It will be a bit wet, but we'll dry it with a bit of oxygen applied using my blower here. And that will dry up any alcohol. And then I'm using my adhesive. I don't even know what this thing's called, but it spins the adhesive off. And it's not just for the battery tabs, it works for the adhesive, the old adhesive on the phone. Pretty handy. Sometimes it doesn't work as well, but other times it works like a charm, and it worked pretty well here for removing the adhesive. Also, if you have to remove all the alcohol unless the adhesive won't come off with this display this spinny machine. And then this is me here just removing the old adhesive with it. You can use a scalpel tool to remove the adhesive. This is probably going to be the longest part of the repair. A lot of shops, the mass majority of shops, they don't remove the old adhesive, which isn't good. Now, as someone who's worked for Apple, obviously I know this is a very, very vital step so that the phone can be nicely sealed after to protect it from water and dust coming into the phone. And that is done by replacing the seal. And to replace the seal, you need to remove the old seal, which is the adhesive here. So even after all of that, I then had to use a metal scalpel and then a Q-tip or the cotton bud tip with alcohol to remove the rest of the adhesive. This is the new battery I'm using. I'm using an IP9 battery that can be calibrated. Very good quality. I'm very happy with the guys down at iPart for you. Have shown me that I can use these batteries. They're very, very, very good quality. Just like the Apple battery, it can be calibrated. So very happy with it. So all you do is you install it in, and then you want to put in the water seal gasket that it comes with on the phone. Take your time, line it up correctly, and make sure everything is pressed down, and then you can just peel it off with a tweezer. Now I use that spinning tool to remove any adhesive from the old screen. Pretty important so that the screen goes on pretty flushly, so it's smooth and there's no edges poking up or anything that can cause any issues in the future. I use a Q-tip with some alcohol just to clean up and make everything nice and clean. And then I'll just connect the proximity sensor back up again. Make sure you hear the nice click. And then the display connector as well. Make sure it's firm, then I'll connect the battery. And then once the battery's plugged in, that bracket that I removed at the start will go back in now. And then it's just all those screws that we removed. Now you'll see me here twist the screwdriver to the left and then to the right. So what that does is it will actually line up these screws so that it can go in flushly. This will stop the screws from stripping. So if you twist to the left and you hear a click, and then you twist to the right, you'll get the screw in perfectly every time. A little tip that I had to figure out the hard way. So learn from my mistake, guys. And then lastly, we'll remove the rest of the seal for the waterproof seal. And we'll just work our way around. There'll be different types of seals. Some of them won't have this, some of them will. Obviously, it's better if they do because you can, remove it at the end for the best results of it adhering correctly. And then you want to line up the screen again and press it back into place. Hopefully you hear some clicks and cracks of it pushing into place. The 15 Pro is a absolute amazing phone to fix. I love doing them. I like how Apple lets you replace the back glass on them if they break as well. But other than that, the 15 Pro is a pretty solid phone. I have a 14 Pro myself. Pretty decent, can't complain. And you'll get this message that the battery is not recognized. Don't worry. You'll just need to head into your settings, click on the notification, and then from there you want to start and finish the repair. Depending on the battery now you guys have ordered, you'll be able to do this. And some of them will say that you can, even though you can't, because they're not calibrating batteries. So how this calibration works is that it'll load you into the self-diagnostics. You can also do this by pressing the volume up, down button while the phone is off, and then plug in the phone, and it'll take you to this menu. But yeah, this is pretty important to keep all the features of the phone. So the phone isn't screaming that it has third-party parts into it, even though you should even have these issues. Apple, why do you do this to us? But anyways, there you go. The phone is now fixed. The battery has been brought back to 100%, and it's been calibrated. So this is a happy customer who was actually beside me when I was finishing off. All right, guys, cheers. Thanks for watching.